Shout out to EA for sponsoring this video. Now that Apex has 23 legends to choose from, the question of who should I main is one of the most frequent things I'm asked. Whether you're brand new to Apex and trying to figure out for the first time what legend you'll enjoy most, or you've been playing for a while now and you're just feeling like a change is needed, well, in this video, I got you covered. I'm going to break down the most important factors that will help you all make a decision on who to main, and towards the end of the video, I'll give you my own personal choices that I've enjoyed playing the most in Season 16. Let's dive into this. The first thing that helps players decide who to main is answering this one question. What legend class resonates the most with me and my playstyle? Support, skirmisher, assault, recon, or controller. Quick side note, when I say controller in this context, I do not mean you have to play on controller to utilize these legends. These are called controller legends because they are great at controlling areas. Now, all of the legend classes have something unique to offer their squad, and then within those classes, each legend's abilities dive further into that role in a very specific way. Some players who play the game more casually may find an attachment to the legend's personality, like how they sound, what voice lines they have, etc. While other players who are more interested in competing will solely focus on what value that legend provides to the team and themselves. Now, if you exclusively solo queue, well, finding your main may be a bit more difficult to figure out. It can be tough to understand how is this legend going to fulfill your role within that squad. If your teammates are always changing, well, you'll have a lot of inconsistent results. Generally, I found playing legends that don't have mobility or are more supportive in nature can be really tough to play when you always have random teammates. Sometimes it's just nice to have some mobility to get out of a bad situation, or use that same mobility to get aggressive on a kill that you know needs to happen in order for your squad to finish the other squad. That's not to say you can't run support legends if you solo queue, but it is something that will be a little bit difficult from time to time. Let's dive into the legend classes a bit more. First up is the skirmisher class, and this might be the most popular legend class. Legends like Pathfinder, Wraith, Octane, Valk, and more. These legends are so popular because mobility can just be a really fun thing to use in Apex. It allows for more freedom when bad decisions are made as a team or individually, but it can also add in new strategies on how to be more aggressive or ways to successfully rotate throughout the map. However, the skirmisher class may have one of the most underwhelming passives, in that being they can nearly see all of the care packages that are coming down and tell if that item gets taken. Now, personally, I think this perk is pretty good, and it's especially good on legends like Pathfinder, as he gets his zipline back for every time he looks at a care package. This results in an extremely short cooldown if he utilizes it right. I think it's helpful to know what's in these nearby care packages and to know if that item got taken, especially in those matches where you have great positioning and maybe you're setting up for the late game win, but a care package comes down close to you. It could be a risky play to leave your positioning and try to go for that loot. Well, now you'll know if it's even worth leaving this positioning to go and check out that care package as long as you have a skirmisher on your team. I've seen a lot of complaints from players saying that this perk isn't all that. And regardless of where you stand on it, it's just important to understand that class perks are more of a complementary side dish to the Legends kit. It's most likely not going to be the sole reason you play a Legend. So if you enjoy movement and you want to have some flexibility when situations get dicey, the skirmisher role might be for you. The next class is support legends. While some are certainly more popular than others, this legend class is all about helping your teammates, but still having some decent utility for yourself as well. It's not like you'll solely exist to just help your squad mates. A lot of people who don't play support legends will think it's your duty to drop everything and save them. However, there's going to be a time and a place, and you will have to learn to balance out the risk to the reward of something like going for a risky revive in the middle of a battle, or playing in the back of the squad to make sure you're not the first one to get knocked in the fight. If you are a very aggressive player, well, playing a support role probably isn't the best for you. Unless you're trying to learn how to slow down and play off your teammates better, then learning the support role could be worth it. This season, Loba, Lifeline, and Newcastle are all great options for supporting your teammates in different ways. Contrary to the skirmisher class, the support legends may have the best class perk out of all of the legends because they can craft their teammates' banners, even if that banner has timed out. And they get access to extra consumables in the blue supply bins, things like health, shields, along with necessary survival items like heat shields or mobile respawn beacons. These play into the whole support theme very well and focus on the fact that necessary loot at times can absolutely save the day. Assault legends are definitely for those that enjoy using abilities that either straight up deal damage or using abilities in ways that will heavily assist in your gunfights. If you've played other FPS games and you enjoyed utilizing extra damage perks or killstreak rewards, well, this class may be for you. Legends like Mad Maggie, Bangalore, and Fuse are some of the most popular legends in this class this season. Okay, Fuse might not be the most popular, but he is really freaking fun. Maggie and Bangalore are both meta picks this season because of their abilities and how they can be used to be aggressive during fights. Bangalore is more dynamic in the respect that she can use her abilities in an aggressive manner or in a defensive retreat for her squad. She can control line of sight with her smoke grenades and clear enemies off of favorable positioning with their airstrike. If you're a new player, Bangalore is a very simple legend, and one I recommend trying out. Sure, it'll take time to learn when and how to best use her smokes, but overall, a lot of players seem to enjoy her kit. But if you're a shotgun fan, then Mad Maggie is your go-to here. If you don't really enjoy running with shotguns though, you can still use Maggie, but I would recommend trying out a different legend that fits more with what you like. See, assault legends get the class perk of carrying extra ammo in their inventory and access to another layer of the special assault bins. This will spawn smart loot for them and their squad, playing into the notion that gunplay is still very important for these legends. Next up is the Recon class, and these legends are all about gathering extra knowledge regarding your surroundings. More specifically, where enemies are or are not, and then sharing that info to your teammates. The ways in which this info is gathered and delivered will vary from legend to legend in this class, but legends like Bloodhound and Seer are very much so like, hey, here's what's in front of us, you see it, I see it, let's make a move off of this. Whereas a legend like Crypto is a bit more cerebral and calculated. Crypto needs to find a safe spot to use his drone to scout out the area, and then potentially make a damage dealing and stunning play while he EMPs his opponents to try and neutralize them. Vantage, on the other hand, well, she's the reconnaissance sniper, but more on her later. These recon legends ultimately will help you out with game sense or general awareness. If you struggle finding where people are during the fight, or maybe your hearing isn't very good, well, these legends can definitely assist with that. Just be careful that you don't crutch these legends too hard, because I've definitely worked with some players while coaching that got so used to a scan legend that when they tried to switch legends to try someone else out, they became very lost in fights because they relied so heavily on an ability giving them the necessary info about where enemies were at. Now, if none of these legends have interested you so far, let's talk about controller legends. Caustic, Catalyst, Watson, and Rampart are all the true defensive legends in Apex. Like their name states, they control areas and they can do it well. Their special class perk is the ability to learn the next ring knowledge, which plays in nicely to their value proposition for the team. Now, this doesn't mean you gotta camp all game, but it does mean you should try to strategically select certain places on the map to take fights with while using these legends. These legends should make you consider your positioning, much more so than any other legend. Typically, a good spot to hold with Caustic or Watson will also be good for Rampart or Catalyst too. They can be somewhat interchangeable, but still have their own unique playstyles and value that they bring to the team. In general, places like buildings or general structures that constrict multiple lines of sight are good for these legends because they can try to force enemies to fight them from a specific direction. Getting good at this can make playing these legends very rewarding. Now, Catalyst has seemed to rise to the meta in Season 16, and I believe that's because her ultimate is great for being out in the open and sealing off different lines of sight. It can split an enemy team up or block off a potential third party that isn't too far away. It can also help out during a dicey rotation for your squad. Now, her passive is excellent at holding specific buildings because of the reinforced doors, and her tactical can assist here too. So if you enjoy playing a bit more methodical, then maining one of the controller legends could be the perfect fit for you. So here are my favorite legends from each class. Now mind you, this could change day to day depending on how I'm feeling, but let's say Apex said I had to pick one from each class and I could only play them for the rest of my life. Here's who I'd go with. For controller legends, I'd have to go Caustic. His gas traps are one of the best ways to control areas. It's great at denying area from enemies and forcing them to fight you in a specific way. Most players get impatient or ignorant around Caustic gas, and this is where Caustic can make them pay for such mistakes. He does have a huge hitbox and feels like he moves a bit slower, despite him moving at the same speed as other legends, but he is very strong in close combat, particularly indoors. For recon legends, I'd have to go Vantage. Now, a lot of people won't understand this pick, but I believe Vantage to be extremely underrated in Season 16. Most players have written her off as just not that good, and while she won't provide the same sort of value as her counterparts in the Recon class, her sniper is OP. If you learn to get good with this thing, it can nearly always tilt a fight in your team's favor. Getting crucial opening damage or just straight up knocking an enemy as you progress forward on them is going to be a huge deal here. Her tactical is also pretty good when and if you want to be aggressive with it or just use it to take high ground. Now, I kind of like that she is low-key this season because if every team had advantage on it, I think people would quickly realize how good this legend can be. Now, for support legends, I'd have to go Lifeline. Despite Lifeline feeling like maybe she's not the best these days, I still think she has a lot to offer. One of her best assets is she has one of the smallest hitboxes in the entire game. This means that she's not prone to taking a ton of damage. But her drone is also very helpful during the middle of a fight, or if you need it for a quick reset after getting a revive off. Her ultimate, while isn't the best, can still come in handy for additional loot when you may be lacking good armor. For the skirmisher class, I'd have to go Pathfinder. The mobility on this legend is unmatched. Learning how to utilize his grapple is probably the most fun you can have in Apex, swinging from buildings or just flying down a hill. And now with the buff to his zipline, he is just a blast to play. His hitbox is definitely the worst part about him, as it makes him take way more damage than the other legends, but if you can deal with that, well, you're in for a great time with this legend. For the assault class, I'd have to go Fuse. This legend is a menace in Apex. His whole kit centers around dealing extra damage, and it can be super rewarding when those abilities affect the outcome of your fights. From his knuckle cluster to his ring of fire and the passive ability to stack extra grenades, there's no doubt this legend is one of the more annoying legends to go up against. You just gotta be careful with him and not take too much damage from your own abilities. Well, if you're still not convinced on who to main after watching this, maybe learning about one simple tip for every legend will help. I covered that all in this video here. Check it out next. Thanks for watching. Peace.